Before engineers begin designing an aircraft system, an important question must be answered. How will the development actually be managed? Complex aerospace programs involve thousands of requirements, multiple engineering teams, different suppliers, and strict certification expectations. Without a clear development plan, even technically excellent teams can struggle to deliver a certifiable product. This is exactly why ARP4754B begins with development assurance planning. Chapter 3 establishes the framework that guides all later development activities. In this video, we'll explore the purpose of development assurance planning and understand why it forms the foundation of the entire development lifecycle. Large aerospace projects rarely fail because engineers cannot design complex systems. More often, problems arise because activities are poorly coordinated. Responsibilities become unclear. Processes differ between teams, or important development tasks are overlooked. Development assurance planning helps prevent these situations. It defines how development will be performed, who is responsible, how progress will be monitored, and how certification objectives will be achieved. With this foundation established, the chapter introduces the planning process itself. Chapter 3 is organized into three major areas. It begins by describing the planning process itself. Next, it explains the development assurance plan, which documents how the project will be managed. Finally, it addresses coordination with certification authorities throughout development. Together, these activities create the management framework that supports the technical work performed later in the life cycle. The starting point is understanding how the planning process is organized. The planning process establishes how the project will be executed. Rather than focusing on technical design, it defines the organizational approach to development. Processes are selected, responsibilities are assigned, planning activities are coordinated, and the overall development strategy begins to take shape. These early decisions provide consistency throughout the remainder of the program. One of the most important outputs of this process is the development assurance plan itself. The development assurance plan is the central planning document described in Chapter 3. It explains how the project intends to satisfy the objectives of ARP4754B. The plan defines organizational responsibilities, development processes, major milestones, and the overall project strategy. Rather than serving as a technical design document, it provides the roadmap that guides development from beginning to end. Of course, even the best plan must remain aligned with certification expectations. Aircraft development always takes place within a certification environment. Development organizations therefore work closely with certification authorities throughout the project. Regular communication helps clarify expectations, resolve potential issues early, and maintain alignment as development progresses. Effective coordination reduces misunderstandings and helps avoid unnecessary delays later in the certification process. With these three elements in place, Chapter 3 establishes a solid foundation for the engineering activities that follow. Development assurance. Planning is only the beginning of ARP4754B. However, every later activity depends on the planning decisions established here. Aircraft development, requirements management, verification, configuration management, and certification activities all rely on a well-defined planning framework. Without this foundation, maintaining consistency across a complex aerospace program would become extremely difficult. Let's summarize the key points. Chapter 3 introduces development assurance planning, the management framework that supports the entire ARP4754B development lifecycle. It defines how development will be organized, documented, and coordinated. The development assurance plan establishes the project's overall strategy, while certification authority coordination helps ensure alignment throughout the program. Although this chapter contains relatively little technical engineering, it provides the organizational foundation upon which all later development activities depend. If you want to go beyond this introduction to ARP4754B, we offer comprehensive online training programs on our website. Our self-paced courses explain the complete aircraft and system development lifecycle, development assurance activities, certification concepts, and practical engineering approaches used in real aerospace projects. In addition to ARP4754B, we also provide training on ARP4761A and DO178C. You can find the link in the video description and in the pinned comment below. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. We regularly publish educational content covering aerospace systems engineering, functional safety, software certification, and other engineering standards. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.